What's up, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Alright, so we back at it, bro. I'm learning. Be watching this video, and just like I'm really trying to. I'm dedicating to cookouts to learn how to make games. I will figure this out. I've learned a lot of skills from using the cookout as a great tool for my learning, and we're gonna keep that trend going.
So first of all, we're going to create a new project, do some setup, and then we're going to create the background elements for the game. I did prepare a starting project with the assets and the source code, so if you want that, take a look at the link in the description. With that being said, let's begin. So here I have a brand new project, and the first thing I'm going to do is going to be creating the files or the folders that we're going to use within the file system. So simply right click here, create a new folder. The first one is going to be the assets, then we're going to do it one more time for scenes, and one more time for the scripts. So simple enough, the assets will live here, scenes will live here, and the scripts will live here. And since this is a small game, we're not going to have too many of any of them. So first of all, let's import the assets. I have 3 different sound effects that I'm going to use, and that's going to be the entirety of the assets that we're going to have in this game. All of the graphics will be made within Godot, so we're only going to import these sound effects. So click on the assets folder within Godot, and then select all of the assets that you want to import, and simply left click hold, drag them into the editor, let go, and all of them are going to be imported into that folder. So we are going to use these, but we're going to use them later in the tutorial, so for now we'll just leave them here. The second step here is going to be creating the main game scene. This is going to be the scene where everything in the game takes place in. So let's go ahead and click on 2D scene here. Click on it again and name it to be game. And then we're going to save it inside of the scenes folder, just like that. And I'm going to set this as the main scene of the game, the scene that's going to be run when we first start playing. To do that, we're going to go into the project, settings, into the run tab here, and then we're going to set the main scene to be that game scene. And while we're here, we're going to go into window, and we're going to set the viewport width to be 1280 and the height to be 720. This is
Yeah. We need like. That's what I need.
going to be the size of the window, and we want this to be a nice 16:9 aspect ratio. And we're also going to set the stretch mode to be canvas items, and we're going to leave the aspect as keep. Setting it as canvas items is going to make sure that everything is scaled appropriately if you do decide to play with window size. There's a more detailed description here if you hover over the mode. So if you want to learn more, you can just read this. It's quite self-explanatory. Okay, so that's all we want to do for now within the settings. So let's close this and we can try playing the game. And you can see that we currently have nothing in the scene. So let's go ahead and create the background that we want for this game. So the classic Pong game obviously has a black background and it has a line going through the middle, a dashed line. So if I try to demonstrate that, it would be something like this. So we would have a fully black background like that. And then we would have a dashed line going in the middle, just like that. Very simple. And obviously we also have the UI elements of, the score on either side of the game. So this is what we're trying to achieve. We're not going to do the UI just yet in this, part of the tutorial. It's going to come later, but now we're going to do the background and the dashed line. So let's go ahead and create a new node. So simply click on the plus button here and do a search for Mesh Instance 2D. This is a very useful node that I like to use, especially when I'm prototyping stuff or I just need to have like a simple, rectangle in the game with a certain type of color instead of using a sprite with the texture. So let's create this, and we're going to rename this to be background, and we're going to go to the mesh property here, click on it, and then we're going to create a new quad mesh. A quad mesh is simply going to be a rectangle that you can place in the game, and you're going to be able to give it any color that you want. So once you click on that, it will be created, and you can see that we have these orange dots.
One second, yeah. Hey, give me a second.
Here that we can use to resize the mesh. So I'm simply going to pull it down so that it covers the entire height, and then pull this one to the side to cover the entire screen essentially. So the blue line or the purple line you see here, this rectangle, let me just actually draw that for you. This rectangle right here represents the window size. So everything inside of here will be displayed to the window or in the game. So what we want to do is cover that entire rectangle with the mesh. And it can be just slightly larger just to make sure everything is covered. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the visibility, click on modulate, and from modulate we can give this any color that we want, and we want this to be fully black. So we can just do that and we'll have a black background. Next up, I'm going to click on ordering and set the Z index of this to be -10 so that it's behind everything that we're going to draw in the game. And finally, we're going to lock this in place by clicking on this. And that's going to make sure that we don't click on it accidentally within the viewport here. As you can see, I can't click on it in order to make sure that we don't accidentally, click on it and misplace it and, waste our time. So that's going to be the background. Let's play the game again, see what it looks like. And now, as you can see, we have a completely black background. So this is the way I decided to do this, but obviously you can also go into the project settings. You can go into, let's see, where is it? Render, textures, environment. Yes, environment. So there's a default clear color here. And this is that default gray that you see within the viewport. You can set this to be black, and then you will get the same effect. We can actually hide this mesh. Let me get out of the settings, hide it, play the game again, and you can see that it's still black. So it's the same effect done in a different approach, but with this approach everything in the viewport will also be black, which can make it a little bit more difficult to work. So that's why I don't like to do that. I simply like to use a mesh. Let's bring that back. You could also use a color rect, which is a UI element. You could also use this one. So there's, with everything in game development, there is multiple ways to do the same thing. So just do the one that you like, do the one that works, and do the one that doesn't cause you problems. Okay, so this next thing I want to do here is drawing that dashed line in the middle. So to do that, we're going to use a function called draw dashed line, which is a function we can use within a script to draw a dashed line. So we're going to create a script. So let's click on the game node here, attach a script. This will be in the
Alright, run it back. Hold on.
a dash in the middle. So to do that, we're going to use a function called draw dashed line, which is a function we can use within a script to draw a dashed line. So we're going to create a script. So let's click on the game node here, attach a script. This will be in the scripts folder.
There we go, yonder.
And in here, we're going to bring the draw function. So if you type in _draw, then you can simply click on tab once you get this autocomplete, and that's going to give you the correct function and definition. And within here, we're going to call draw dashed line. But before we do that, let's actually think about how we're going to achieve this. So I'm going to open up the game here. And actually, let me just show you the function first. So draw dash line, if we bring the autocomplete, we'll take in a vector2 called from, another vector2 called to, a color, a width, a dash length. So the first vector2 is the start of the line, the second one is the end of the line, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate to you now. So this is the line that we're trying to draw. Okay? So the first vector2 that this function wants is this point. It's the start of the line, and the second point is this point. It's the end of the line. So what are these points? What's the location within the game? So we know that this length here is 1280 because it's the size, it's the width of the window. And we know that we want to draw this line at the middle. So it's going to be 1280 divided by 2. So the X position will be 640. And what's the Y position? Well, we know that this point here is 0, 0. So that means this is also 0. So the starting position of the line will be 640 by 0. And the end position is going to be also 640 because this is still in the middle of the screen horizontally, but the Y position is going to be this much, down. And we know that going down,
Liverpool makes fire videos, I'm not gonna hold you.
And we know that this here is 720. It's the height of the screen. So this here will be 640 by 720. So this is the starting vector2 we want, and this is the ending vector2 we want, or 2, and this is from. And then we're going to give a color, a width, a dash length, but those are going to be simpler. So now that we understand this, let's go ahead and start using this function. So I'm going to keep these vectors in variables so that it's easier to see them. We can say line start, it's going to be a vector2. And let's actually create a variable up here called game area size. And we'll set this to be a vector2 of 1280 by 720. And then line start is going to be game area size.x divided by 2 to give us 640. And then we'll say 0. Then we can copy this line, paste it down here, call it line end, and this time the Y position is going to be game area size.y to give us 720. And then we can start using draw dash line. We'll say line start, draw a line from here to line end. The color will be white, so we'll say color.white. The width is going to be the width of the line. We'll say 8 for this. And the dash is going to be the length of each dash. And we'll say 12 for this. And with that, we can play the game. And you will see that we have a line being drawn from where we want it to start until the end. But you can see that the first and the last one is slightly larger, and we can get rid of that actually by passing false to the final parameter here, which is called aligned.
Alright. So that was the first section. Project setup. 13.
And that's going to fix that, as you can see.
Yep. Alright, so we saw that. We saw that. So now it's time to do that. Y'all like, what you mean what Pound's talking about? It's time to do that. Yeah, but it's time to do that. It's time to do that, dog. I got you. You about to lock in. You about to lock in. I do have good dough. Give me a second, y'all. I'm looking at some stuff right now. I'm gonna know how to update my Godot real quick. For most games and apps made in 4.3 should be relatively safe to migrate to 4.4. The page intends to cover everything you need to pay attention to when migrating, breaking changes. That's not what I'm looking for. To upgrade your Godot product before, you should first download the latest version of the Godot engine website. Before upgrading, it's crucial to back up the project folder. That of a loss. I'm trying to keep my old code, bro. Cause I was coding stuff like in the terminal. I really was coding. I had some old things, some old projects. A couple things I never finished, never even got close to. Yeah, I feel like I'm back on my music journey, dog. I really do feel like I'm back on my music journey. I feel like the next decade is about to be crazy. Cause I want to say like 18 is when I picked up being a producer. And like the music is crazy. Now it's like 28. Now I'm really picking up game development. I mean, I've been doing game development physically, but like coding now, bro. Yeah, yeah, let's see what happens. Wait, it was my old Godot. Bro, the last time I touched Godot, I was on 4.1, bro. I was on 4.1.3 stable. They're right now on 4.4.1. I love how the Godot download is so small. That's probably the reason I'm not choosing to work with Godot, because like, dog, I just like like flexing, hating. Whoa, what they eating bacon? What you doing, man? Why you saying? Super Saiyan, man. He hating. Yumbo, why you flaking? Yumbo, why you skating? Yumbo, keep on shaking. Whoa, ooh, I opened up 3 versions of CookOut. One of that John was bugging. Alright, what are we looking at? Dang, stuffing that, not a thing on the bottom instead of the top. Dang, I see my old stuff. I see my old stuff. Alright, bet. We in here, we in here. It's like I'm trying to figure out how to get. Ah. We'll figure it out. Creating this new project. New project. Pong. Game. 1. Yeah, it's my fault. I made this John too big. Alright. Now we can really cook. Let's do it. Okay. Actually, I think I need to go to the YouTube video. I need to actually like download. So, well, these are the sound effects, but get the starter project assets. .com. What the hell? Ah, God, I gotta join this group to get the sound. Ingenious though, ingenious. I see the game plan, my friend. For the sake of this, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna join your group just so I can get the assets because I want to. You have a good video. I know what I'm doing. I've been staying fluent. Alright, alright, well, basically, I was straight cooking. I didn't even understand. Basically, I was straight cooking. I didn't even understand where I was looking. I got focus, I got Lotus, I got on my own. I saw my paint, I saw my grind. I had to grab the phone, called up God, said hello. Waited, let the energy just flow. Okay, goaded to the day that I gon' grow. Okay, we gon' have to go and dive a road, dug a moat, round the castle. Nah, yeah, that be my vessel. That's my aura. It protect me, keep me from these instrumental types of energy that can't understand my frequency. I don't even wanna deal with all the healthy chemistry. I got yo. I've been sitting in my bag and it's kind of really deep. Yo, I don't mean to brag. Got a little bit of grease, so the box about to sag, but I don't even care. Anyway, we gonna keep on spitting bars like a young bull. I'm a player. I'm gonna keep on rapping down. That's my homie. That's my step. I got yo Loki, bro. I was actually rapping. Yo, like Loki, I was actually rapping. I'm not gonna go front on that, John. I was actually rapping. Yeah. Not even low key, high key. High key, I was spitting, bro. I know y'all just witnessed that. That was clean. Yeah, 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 yeah. What the fuck? I'm not playing a picture, bro. Try to get the sound files, bro. Bro, give me the sound. Oh my god. Bro, where is the fucking file? I tell you. Thank God. Got the asset files, got the asset files, got the asset file. I'm a young fly guy sitting on a pedestal. I'm gonna keep on running up the pedestal. Your mom boy be technical. I don't even remember what he did in the beginning. I'm not even gonna hold you. I think I might need to go like every like 3 minutes and then stop. 3 minutes, stop. Yo, on the sign up, bro. I ain't going. I'm gonna stop tonight because I am tired. I kind of want to go to sleep. I've been ripping and running, but I am gonna keep working on this, and hopefully we can jump back in tomorrow, like fresh even, like But yeah, bro, I'm gonna check y'all. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe, and until next time, I'm gonna try and figure out the best way to go about how to do this so it's more seamless for all of us. Bear with me. I'm figuring this out. Same way how I figured out how to use Blackbench. Same way how I figured out how to use A Sprite. Y'all remember that? That was fun. But yeah, I'm gonna see you guys. Y'all have a good one. Until next time.